Jeff Patnaude, from great to the greater good when great is not good enough.
Mm-hmm. And Jeff, we usually do this interview 2 minutes after you come off stage. We had to delay yours, but I'm sure you do not forget how you felt right when you came off the red circle. How was it today?
The thing that was most powerful for me was, one, it was a new talk, as you know, and it was only 2 days old, and it was raw enough before going into it, which I like. I don't like this pat stuff. I like it raw because I like to adapt to the audience. And it was just the right balance. And yet there was a sense of relief that it was over, because I've never worked so hard for a talk, because I dumped it so many times and had 4 different versions. But what I loved, or what touched me, was all these texts from around the world started coming in, bing, 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 bing. We watched it. Oh, that. I started to cry. I mean, I thought, how many people are out there watching this who are my clients and friends, and it was very touching.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's great. That's why we do the live stream.
Yeah.
You can reach so many more people than just.
Oh yeah, it's wonderful, wonderful.
Mm-hmm. So Jeff, you've done so many talks in your career, so many, and somehow still speakers will say that the TEDx audience is different. The way they connect, the way that you feel that you have them during your talk. So I'd love to ask your take on that. How was the audience today?
Well, no different. So I'll be different. There is a difference though. Mm-hmm. Being a keynote speaker occasionally, and I'm not on the circuit because I don't like to do that anymore. But I do a lot, enough still, and of course I teach thousands of seminars. The difference in this is that the speaker is not an individual and alone. When you go in as a keynoter, you go in by yourself, you check out the conditions, you talk to the tech people, it's you on, and then you leave. Yeah, I mean, you do hang around normally to say hello to people. Mm-hmm. It's very lonely, individualized. This was a camp. Everybody's together, cheering each other on back there. That's the huge difference between the professional speaking circuit and TEDx.
Mm-hmm. It's like a little family.
Yeah, of course. Tribe.
You got it. You're right.
That's right.
I'm glad you corrected me. Right.
We have that on tape, by the way.
There you go. Oops, cut that out. Yeah. So, Jeff, this is your first TEDx talk, right?
Yes, it is. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, want to get that. Don't want to misspeak about that one, but we've had hundreds of speakers for TEDx Wilmington, and everyone comes from a different place of why they want to give a talk. And this question has become Ajit's favorite interview question. He really wants to know why people want to give a TEDx talk.
Oh, I think as much as I talked about the greater good today, and people are still know that this is a plus on their credential, and you can use it for your own promotion. I thought I mentioned to you, but people have always said, send us a video, and I've said, I don't have a video. I'm not going to go through all that to promote myself. Now I have a video that I can use for people to look if they want to hire me for other things. I find in my work, people are not hiring necessarily for keynote speakers, because so much of that is given away now for free, because we're willing to do that. But when I have clients or a company looking at me for doing an executive development, they want to get a feel of who I am. And if they can hear my voice and hear my subject, then they say, okay, we trust this guy.
Mm-hmm. They feel like they get to know you ahead of time, especially with something as touching as a TEDx talk. So
yeah.
You got that exactly.
And it's
right.
why I have a film of my farm on my website. They know, because they come from around the world, South Africa to Asia to everywhere. And if they get to see it and they take the tour, I have a virtual tour, then they say, okay, I'll go there.
Mm-hmm. Video connects people.
Yeah.
This is why I'm in this line of work. It does something magical. I feel like you know that experience before you even go. It gives them the confidence to come visit you.
That's right. Safety.
Yeah.
Not safety, trust and safety.
It still trust, yeah. So Jeff, final question, and then we can have you be on your merry way. This is my favorite question. You just got Ajit's favorite. So I don't know how to frame this for you. So you're special because you have so much speaking experience and so much business and executive coaching experience. So you could pull from all of that, or just this one unique TEDx talk that you've done. But the question really is all about advice now that you are actually a TEDx speaker alone. You've gone through the journey. You just had a great talk. So congratulations, TEDx speaker alone. Is
Firewalk.
official.
I did Firewalk with Tony Robbins too, and this was much harder.
Right. Yeah. Wow. So this is yeah. And I know about the Firewalk. That's crazy stuff. But now that you've done it, right? And you can choose if you want to call on other experiences from your entire career. But what advice would you give to future TEDx Wilmington speakers now that you've been through the entire process?
That's easy.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did wrong, and it was my friend who pointed this out, was that I tried to create a TEDx talk. And he said, Jeff, what you need to do is you create your talk for a TEDx stage because you really screwed up. And that's why I dumped my talk, because I was somehow fashioning something else, like I'm supposed to do something else, and that's why it was difficult, and I kept doing reiterations, and I was up every morning at 2 trying to say how I could add this, I could do this, and it became this monstrosity really of too much. It was way too technical, too much science, and when in comparison to all the talks we've heard today, which are flat out just kind of simple wisdom, it would have bombed. So be yourself in this process. You're invited for a reason. You've got some wisdom, indigenous wisdom in you that needs to come out that people will benefit from. And don't make it anything else. That's my advice.